Hey everyone, Sir Jellybean here, and we're back with another CallToArms Gates of Hell-Ostfront tutorial. Now we're back with Finland. We're doing field guns and AT guns, field guns and artillery guns for Finland. Now, just like the Russian one, we've got a few issues. Certain guns won't let me arm them up with infantry, so I won't be able to fire them for you, unfortunately, and I'll only be able to give you the basic details that I know, but we'll do the best we can. So, we'll start with the smallest and head up the line. So we've got the light infantry gun 76 RK. 76mm, comes with 40 high explosive rounds. It's a Russian gun, I believe, so it's similar to the Russian one. I believe it's 160 range, yeah. It's quite powerful, actually. It will do some damage. It hits quite strong. Decent reload speed. It's not a bad little field gun, like a support infantry gun. It doesn't have any armor piercing, high explosive anti-tank, though, so it's a bit of a letdown. Then we've got the 76 KO2, which is just like a bigger variant, really. But that comes with armor piercing and high explosive. I believe it also has 160 range, is it? No, this one's got 180 altogether, but the armor piercing's pretty tough. You know, these are late stage T-34s, but you can still blast the tracks off and stuff. It fires quite strong, so definitely a decent weapon. It's another good support infantry gun. The Finns have so many artillery pieces, but it's another Russian one that they've used, I believe. And then we've got the 76 light gun, another Russian weapon they've turned in. This has a range of just shy of 190. Oh, it's gonna be fine. Armor piercing's pretty strong now, maybe not strong enough to take these on effectively, but you can engage light and medium tanks and stuff, but the high explosive's pretty strong as well. It's got good range and a good reload speed, definitely something to use on your assaults, on your defences. Good thing is they're all fairly small, so quite easy to hide in things like forests and in defensive lines, so definitely something to use. Quite like that gun. Now this medium howitzer, 122mm, wouldn't let me use it. I don't know the range, but I know it has 20 high explosive and 10. They are phosphorus smoke, I believe. Similar to the Russian howitzer as well, so it'll have the same effect. I think the range is about 360 meters, something like that. But the 122 millimeters will basically break just about any tank, even damage King Tigers. So very effective, and it's very small for the damage it puts out. So definitely something you can kind of lob the shells, so put it behind cover and just chuck shells at your enemy. Then we've got the 105 millimeter. Now they won't let me crew this up. It's 20 high explosives. These things are the bane of my life when I verse Finland. They're very accurate. Good range. I can't remember the exact range of it, but they're ridiculously accurate. I don't know why if the AI gets a buff, but I've had so many tanks when I play the Russians taken out by these, so these are something to definitely be aware of. We've got the 84K, which is an 84mm. Now it's armed with 25 high explosive rounds. The thing has a range of 200, is it? 210. This thing is actually quite powerful, so let's test it against T-34. Just get ranged, fire away, bang. Now that was a nice little 84mm round. It definitely did some damage there, I think. It doesn't look like it's done much, but I thought it damaged it a bit, but it does provide quite a kick, 84mm. If we put another one in, see if we can do some damage. But it definitely can blow the tracks off. That's definitely, it's got to have tracked it, hasn't it? It's only blow the skirts off, but these are quite effective. They're very useful. The high explosive is quite a big explosion, as you can see. It does a lot of damage. I do quite like these. So definitely something to bring. Good for bombarding an area, just keep them firing. Then we've got the 155mm heavy field howitzer. Comes with 10 shells. I don't know the range because it won't let me crew up. But I've never really versed these much, but normally I'd go up to the bigger howitzers with long barrels because it's quite a stubby one, but it's more like a large field gun. Mind you, like a World War I kind of era field gun, doesn't it? But it will take out most tanks at 155mm. It's basically the same rounds as bigger than actually the Stugs that I use. Not the Stug, the Brumbar 33B. Is it 33I? I always forget. But yeah, this thing will crack any tank or any fortification. So if you resort into these, it's obviously the big job. And we've got the 105mm light field howitzer. It's the exact same as the German one, I believe. Because 20 high X, 5 armor piercing. I believe these are 5 high explosive anti-tank rounds as well. It'll have similar range to the German one, which should be about 320, I believe. And it'll have decent fire rate, and 10.5 centimeters got some of the best fire rate. It's one of my favourite artillery pieces, so definitely something useful. Then we've got the 76K 36. This is a long-barreled 76. Comes with 24 armor piercing, 25 high X. Has a range of 190. Thing's got quite decent armor piercing. Can even damage a T-34. Some of the heavy ones. It's got some high velocity kick to it, but you're better off using heavier AT to obviously deal with these tanks. But it's also it's quite a useful field gun. But as I say, the Finns have absolutely tons of them, so it's just one of many. If you want to use it, I'd probably go for something bigger or one of these like smaller field guns for the same caliber. Then you got the medium field howitzer, 120 mils, comes with 15 shells. it's going to be quite strong, but like say you might as well go for something like 155 heavy howitzer in my opinion. You'll get a bit more speed, but less firepower. You might as well go for the big guns. Then we have the 105k. That is going to be similar to the light field gun, and very similar. Just got high explosive only. I believe this was a Finnish one, no German involvement, but it's going to have similar range to it, similar fire rate, so it's going to be decent. But you might as well just go for that with a better ammo selection, in my opinion. And it also looks I think it's a bit more of a cool looking model, but it does have a nice gun shield on it. So that's about it. But might as well go for the big guns. Then you got the 150 heavy field howitzer, has 10 shells loaded in the storage. This will have a range of about 280 to 300 meters, I believe. It's going to be similar to the German 15 centimeter. Bit slower on the reload, but definitely a good multi-role gun. Can deal with tanks, can deal with infantry. But like all artillery, don't be expecting it to hit directly on target because they're always a bit inaccurate on this game. They have the 203 heavy field howitzer, which would be similar to the Russian one, I believe. 5 heavy shells in it. This thing will have a range of probably about 230, 240. But obviously, anything it hits will kill. It's an absolute monster. Very powerful. It looks kind of cool. No gun shield, which is a shame, but the big wheels should probably protect you. But it does remind you of like a medieval, like the cannons that they used kind of during the colonial period. Definitely something like that. Looks really cool. My favourite, the 17 centimeter Minenwerfer. And I have included it, even though I also included this on the mortar guide. It's a mine thrower, so it's kind of also artillery. Has a range of, I believe, 170. Let's just look. Oh, it's 150 actually. Shorter than I thought. But it's a very powerful weapon. If we can get a round on it, it should do some good work. Let's see if it hits anything. Boom. Bit off, but if that hits anything, it kills it. But it's quite a quick reload speed for 17 centimeter. And while it's reloading, obviously it comes with 10 shells spare. They've also got a 15 centimeter Nebel, which is the exact same as the German one. So it'll have a range of about 320, I think. It'll have decent reload speed, but these things eat munitions. But it's nice to have some rocket artillery for the Finns, because they are lacking in a lot of areas, unfortunately. They're very reliant on the field gun and stuff. So we'll just chuck a 17 centimeter before we head off. Come on, do it. Do it. Come on, do it. Ooh! So close, but no cigar, but you still saw a bit of shrapnel get thrown up. But if it does hit a tank, it will cripple it. And that's just the Finnish field guns artillery. Sorry about that. Same as the Russian video. I was unable to crew these ones up, and I've not been able to figure out why. I have looked around, but it gives you a broad outline. But the Finns do rely very heavily on the field guns and artillery. You'll be using these more because you lack a lot of the armour. So infantry, plus especially like a lot of these smaller field guns, is the way to go on the attack. Rely on your artillery and your field guns, use it correctly, combined arms, and you will succeed in Finland. And obviously there's a YouTuber called the Devon Red. He does a good Conquest Enhanced with Finland. I believe it's a couple months ago, so it's the first version of Conquest Enhanced. But I watched him and he's got some really good infantry tactics, so go and give that guy some love. He's a very good player. And thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you on the next one.